Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of a new Trekkie. My 5-year mission to search out Star Trek media, to seek out our fans and merchandise, to boldly go where no fan has gone before.
Greetings and salutations, how's everybody doing? So we're back to talk about Star Trek Enterprise. In this case, we're looking at 3 episodes. In this case, we're looking at The Crossing, Judgement, and Horizon. Let's look at the episode The Crossing first. Well, what happened in this episode? Well, in this episode, incorporeal beings attempt to take over the Enterprise ship Enterprise. Basically, the Enterprise is taken inside an enormous alien spacecraft of unknown origin, and then take over various crew members' bodies. Later in the episode, the crew takes shelter in the catwalk, which has enhanced shielding. I gotta say, this episode, honestly, kind of it had a bit of, a suspenseful vibe in the fact that anyone could be the alien, so it had a vibe of, the Thing, in the fact, is this really Reed? Is this really, Hoshi? Or is this really, any of the other characters? Are they saying who they are, or is it just the aliens taking over and all that? And honestly, that's a great idea, especially for Star Trek, because, I don't really know that, I can't always be certain, but I don't think always when it comes to Star Trek, sometimes it's always cool when they decide to go into the world of suspense and the world of horror, because, science fiction and horror sometimes will go hand in hand, and sometimes it will work. But I think this episode kind of, in a way, works with what it's trying to do, and that they're trying to, figure, basically at the end of the episode, the aliens are going to say, oh, the ship is not, the Enterprise is not empty. And, I do think that Phlox is given a bit more to do in this episode, which is always great. But let's look at that next episode, which is next episode, Judgment. What happened in this episode? Well, Captain Archer appears before a Klingon tribunal charged with attacking a Klingon spaceship and inciting a rebellion. The episode guest stars J.G. Hertzl as a Klingon lawyer. Basically, Scott Bakula, he picked this episode as a favorite of his. And honestly, I can see why. This episode is basically another procedural episode in Star Trek. But, honestly, I also like the fact that, in canon, this is basically would be the first time, say the Vulcans would have an idea of, court trial in their planet, say, hey, we disagree with this, judgment, and the fact that sometimes when it comes to aliens, they don't always will, listen, sometimes they have a judgment, a point, and then sometimes, if someone disagrees with it, they don't like that. And, yeah, I think the acting in this episode is honestly pretty great for, Enterprise. I mean, then again, I think Enterprise is a good show. I think the acting in this episode is pretty great. And honestly, I also like the fact that, the Advocate Cobbs, I think the actor for him does a good job. I think, a Klingon lawyer is a cool idea.
How many cases have you won?
Oh, I'm not sure. Over 200. But that was a long time ago. And the tribunal was a forum for the truth and not a tool for the warrior class.
There are other classes?
You didn't believe all Klingons were soldiers.
And I don't think it was ever done in TOS. I don't think it was done in the previous series. So, honestly, that's a pretty cool idea. Like, a Klingon knowing his law and trying his best to help his clients. And honestly, I like it. I think it does a pretty good job. Let's look at the final episode that we'll be looking at is the episode Horizon. What happened in this episode? Well, in this episode, when the ship detours to observe volcanic activity on a planet, Mayweather takes an opportunity to visit his family aboard the ECS Horizon. However, there is a bit of sad news in the fact that his father had passed away, who was the captain of the Horizon. So basically, his brother is made captain of the Horizon. And at times, they will bump heads in the fact that, Mayweather, he's trying to say, hey, your ship, it seems like it needs some upgrades and all that, and ever so often, his brother is trying to be a captain who is going to be a negotiator and not immediately wanting to go into battle. And, do the option that would save lives and willing to keep his crew safe.
Their weapons are going down.
Keep our turrets locked on them. Open the channel. This is Captain Mayweather. I think twice before attacking any of our ships again. Redock with the cargo section, then get us out of here. Hi, Captain.
And honestly, I like the family dynamic of this episode. I think it's honestly pretty great when it comes to the actors of this episode. I think it's honestly pretty good. And I actually like the fact that we have a bit of a different ship to look at, honestly, so it's pretty good. I also like the subplot involving say the crew decided to go see a movie, in this case Frankenstein, on the ship, and everyone was saying, hey, they're excited, but basically they're trying to say, hey, this would be fun, and eventually they see it, and goes say, I think I liked the monster the most and all that stuff, and overall, I think this episode these 3 episodes are all pretty good. But what are your thoughts on the episodes The Crossing, Judgment, and Horizon? I'll see you later.